Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Fintu and you're watching Friday First Cut series. I am Nidhi Manchanda, Certified Financial Planner and Head of Training Research and Development at Fintu. Now you must be aware that economies all over the world are contracting. Global economic growth slows amid gloomy and uncertain outlook. Economic forecasts are shrinking and layoffs are increasing at an alarming rate. We have also witnessed volatility in the stock market this year, with inflation remains near all-time high and central banks are tightening by hiking interest rates. But it also affects the economic growth. So are we really heading towards recession? A recession is a significant, widespread and prolonged downturn in economic activity, and a common rule of thumb to understand whether the economy is going under recession is to check the GDP growth. So if for the 2 consecutive quarters the GDP growth is negative, it means that the recession has come. So where is it exactly happening? So if I talk about countries, US, Canada, UK, EU, Japan, Australia, South Korea, China, and the biggest hit has been towards UK, Sweden and Germany. Technically speaking, UK is in recession already and it may last for up to 2 more years. And what exactly are they doing to control the situation? So basically what they are planning to do is to raise taxes as well as cut down on the expenditures. Talking about US, the world's largest economy, that is heading towards recession too. Now if you talk about US specifically, it had a hawkish view for a very long time, and that is why it hiked interest rates 4 times in a year. And currently if we talk about inflation, their target is around 2%, but the current inflation is US is somewhere around 7.7%, which is way too high for an economy like US. Currently, US has signaled slowdown in the rate hikes, and technically speaking, US has already entered into a recession phase because it has experienced 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. But talking about unemployment numbers, that is not very bad in US, and that is the reason they have not declared recession as such. Talking about the unemployment numbers here, the unemployment rate has recovered to its pre-pandemic level and is down 2 percentage points from the same time last year, and currently the October unemployment rate is around 3.7% in US. Now let us understand what is a major indicator for a recession in an economy. So an inverted yield curve is an indicator for a recession, and in recent days it has moved to its most extreme levels since the 1982 recession thanks to a big drop in long-term bond yields. When this dynamic has been in place over the last 2 decades, in each case a recession has followed. There is a synchronized downturn in the US, Europe, Japan and also in China, and that could take the global economy into recession in coming months. Moving on, let us understand why economic growth is slowing down. There are a couple of reasons for that. The first being the geopolitical reasons. We are amid Russia-Ukraine war. Also tightening of monetary policy to control rising inflation. So all the economies across the world are tightening the monetary policy to tame the inflation. Another reason could be high commodity prices and also tighter financial conditions. Because of these reasons, economy is slowing down. Now coming to India, recession is unlikely to hit here because of its not so coupled nature with the global economy. Although our growth rate has been negatively affected by the global condition, we may still be able to manage around 6 to 7% of growth in 2023 and 2024. Please note that World Bank has projected a 6.5% growth rate for the Indian economy for 2022-23. On the other hand, IMF projected a growth rate of 6.8% in 2022 as compared to 8.7% in 2021 for India. RBI's expectation is around 7%, and Asian Development Bank too has cut its projections to 7% from 7.5% earlier. So what exactly is favoring India? So there are a couple of reasons. The number one reason is India has lower debt as compared to rest of the world. Second could be India has demographic advantage as well. Third, about investments, India has witnessed large flows of investment post-pandemic period. So that is something which is supporting the growth in India. Now, as per a Moody's survey, recession is unlikely in APEC region in 2023, which is again in favor of India, the research of this report. Another important point to note is that our chief economic advisor recently said that the Indian economy is on track to achieve 6.8 to 7% GDP growth in the current fiscal and would be able to navigate the headwinds in 2023 much easily. This is majorly on account of festival sales, PMI, bank credit growth and auto sales data, which definitely shows that economy has maintained its momentum. Another positive data point for India has been high GST collections. So GST collections in the month of October stood at 1.52 lakh crores, the second highest ever collection after the April's collection, which was 1.68 lakhs crore. Please note that India's exports declined sharply by 16.65% in October, and in uncertain external environment and despite the exports not doing very well in our economy as it did last year, domestic demand is something which will drive the GDP growth for us. We have seen that India's growth estimates, which were in the range of 8 to 9% in the beginning of the financial year, has come down to between 6.8 to 7% because global growth has slowed down and monetary tightening is still going on. Another challenge could be in the form of unemployment and job openings taking a hit. Now that you know about the recession and how it will impact the global economies as well as India, what exactly you need to do? Now, few of the things that you should keep in mind in this scenario. First is you should be prepared for a rainy day. So make sure you have your emergency fund in place and make sure you also increase it a little bit owing to the conditions right now we are in. So make sure that you have that emergency fund in place so that in future if something unfortunate happens with you, then you have that much of surplus and the corpus to take care of your needs and wants. Another important thing that you need to keep in mind that for next few months, make sure that you are not overspending on luxuries. So spend your money on your needs and postpone your wants for future and try to save more and more amount of money in couple of months now. And another important piece of advice is to avoid taking too many loans, specifically if they are for your wants and not your needs. So try to postpone taking any unwanted personal loans or home loan or anything and reduce on your interest cost. I hope now you must have got a better clarity of what is happening globally. For more such videos, do subscribe to our channel.